Aloha, everybody. This is Dave Wallace coming to you from Wahiawa, Hawaii. And right now, I'm going to be sharing with you the documents and the different methods I use to create the numbers I've been sharing with you here on YouTube. Now, some of this information that I'm going to be sharing with you is just going to be brief, okay? And I'm going to try and keep this film within a certain time period and try not to bore you. Anyway, there's a lot of work that goes into creating this, and for every lottery that I do, and I want to use the number grid, and what you're looking at is a number grid for the Mega Million. Each of the specific lotteries will have their own number grids. So there's a number grid for the Mega Million and the Powerball and the Florida Fantasy 5, okay, that I've been playing. And so I update them on a daily basis after every draw. So if you're not into record keeping and keeping things updated and meticulous, don't even try this. It's going to drive you nuts. Okay? So to start off, to create this number grid, what you need to do is look at the lottery's past history, and you can get that by just going to the main site for the Mega Million or Powerball or whatever lottery you want to play, and just look for past history or past draws, and just click it. I like to use the last 100 draws to gather enough data to make this valid. Okay, at least give me enough data to make comparisons. Okay, so this is number grid. Now, um, there are several things that I did with this number grid. The first thing is you notice it's numbers 1 through 70. And in order to help me categorize or look at it, I divided this number grid into 5 sections. When you divide 70 by 5, you get 14. So that's exactly what I did. From number 1 to number 14, I categorize, this is my tiny numbers, and that's why I have T designation right here. Okay? And then from 15 up until 28, these are my small numbers. And then from 29 to 42, 29 to 42 is my medium numbers. And then from 43 to 56 is my large numbers. And then extra large is from 57 to 70. Okay, so that's the first thing. Divided it up, and you have chunks of 14s. Okay, the next thing I did was take a look at the frequency. How often did these numbers appear in the last 100 games? And so counted them and tallied each one of these numbers, and that's how you get the numbers below the numbers. Okay, so for example, number one appeared only 4 times in the last 100 games, so it was given a number 4. This number 2 showed 5 times, and number 11, number 10, number 3 showed 11 times. So not all of the numbers are equal, yeah, and some numbers appear more often, and some numbers rarely occur. In fact, for this number grid, the numbers 4, 5, and 42 are the coldest numbers, and these numbers will appear only 4 times in the last 100 games. And right next to the numbers, which leads me to the categories of the numbers, and each of these numbers are categorized with the letter next to it. And what do these letters mean? Okay, well, this is based on, these categories are based on frequency. How often are these numbers appearing? The H designation is hot. Okay, these are numbers that appeared 11 or more times in the past 100 games. Okay, and 64 is an example of hot number, as well as 53. Okay, and even hot numbers, they're not equal. 53 appeared 14 times and 64 only 11 times. Okay, the next category is W, or warm, and these numbers appeared between 9 and 10 times. And 52 is an example of a warm number right here, as well as 34 and 35. Okay. Next frequency down is K. These are numbers that appeared between 7 and 8 times. And right here we have 3 in a row, 61, 62, and 63. All K designation. C is cold. These are numbers that are cold, appearing only 6 times. And 65 is an example right here. Okay. And then we reach the icy. These are numbers that appeared 5 or less times. And 42 is an example here. And we also saw ones 1 and 5. So this is a raw data of all of the numbers. You're looking at frequency and size and location on the grid. Okay, so this is general information, and that we're going to be using later. Now, once I get this information, I need to take a look at the recent history. And the recent history, there are two different recent histories that I want to take a look at. The first is the last 4 draws. Okay, and I'm going to be making 4 number profiles to play. And so what I want to do is take a look at what are the numbers that appeared the last 4 times. One of the things that you're going to notice when you start playing the lottery is that the lottery numbers have a tendency to repeat. And the Powerball seems to be more repeating than the other games. And since we looking at the Mega Million, if you take a look at the difference between the Mega Million record draw and what I do for the Powerball, you won't see as many circled numbers like this on the Powerball. Okay, the Powerball repeats more frequently. These circled numbers over here are numbers that are returning to play after being gone for over 20 games. Okay, so these are what I call the R numbers. Okay, and so there's a bunch of them. There's 8 of them, and as you go further back, there's this one segment over here. All of the numbers were repeating here, but take a look at the more recent record, and you find out that a lot of the numbers are returning numbers. Okay, my friend liked to call these numbers long lost numbers returning. Okay. Anyway, so when I take a look at the last 4 draws, I look in segments of 4, and this will help me as far as getting my number profiles for the next game that I want to play. And the number profiles consist of not only the numbers the way they were drawn here, okay, the order that they were drawn, but also the frequency. This is where you get the warm, hot, hot, cool, hot. That's the frequency. And then the size, TSSLX, or tiny, small, small, large, and extra large. That's the characteristics of this draw of 17, 15, 25, 51, and 60. Notice I am not tracking the bonus ball. The bonus ball is a whole different animal. Okay? So these are the frequency characteristics, and this is the size frequency uh, characteristics that I'm going to be using when I assemble my number profile. Okay? Another thing that I do is since the numbers are following like each position, you have the first position, second position numbers, third position, fourth position, fifth position. There's a number of things that you can do with them. And to help guide me to find out which segment of the number field I should be playing, I try and look where the numbers are showing up. Okay, and this R 1 through 4, 5 through 8, and 9 through 12 and stuff. These represents the R represents the returning numbers. Those are the circled ones. Okay, and you have um, 48, 17, 48, 17, 36, 70, 29, 56, 25, and 51. These are all returning numbers, so there's 8R right here. Okay, now the last 1 through 4 games are games right here, segment A. The next 5 through 8 games is actually segment B right here. Okay, these numbers right here. Then the next segment, 9 through 12, is C right here. And next we have D, which is up here. Okay. And then finally E. So these kind of like help me in choosing where these numbers, the next set of numbers should come. So according to this, I should be picking 8 numbers that are returning. So after I log all of these numbers, I look for numbers that did not appear in the last 20 games, and these are numbers that should play. Okay, and then according to this, 3 of the numbers should come from here, and then 3 numbers should be coming from B, and 3 numbers should be from C, 2 numbers from D, and 1 number from E. Okay, so that's one way. The next thing that you can do with these wonderful numbers once you get it all lined up is that you can take a look at the even odd numbers. And for the first number, you got 7, 29, 17, and 1. All of them are odd numbers. Okay, so odd. The next row over, you got 15, 53, 23, 31. All odd numbers. Okay, next one you have 25, 56, 38, 36, and 35. You have an even split. You have 2 odds and 2 even. Okay, so you can go with that and see how many odds and how many even numbers you need for each of the numbers, number places. Okay, and you can log that in if you want. Okay, so that's the kind of information and dissemination of information that goes on before I go to my next sheet. And this sheet is something that you should recognize by now. And this is a Mega Millions sheet that I created, that I prepared for the draw that occurred 1st of January 2021. This was a very good one. Okay, now just to give you an idea on where the numbers came from, okay, all of these numbers right here, like starting off with 7, and then you have these groups of numbers. Where did they come from? Well, they came from right here. These numbers right here, all in green. And in fact, the numbers green go all the way up through the through 20 games. Okay, so some of these numbers appearing down here also appeared throughout the whole grid. Okay, throughout the whole draw. So these numbers are far-reaching. Okay, so take a look at what's happening to number 60. Okay, 60 and 69 went all the way up to the top. Okay, and where is it located? Well, this is where the numbers are. Okay, right here. And if you can take a look at, if you look at this section right here, this is where all of the numbers that were circled or returning numbers were. Okay, now here you have category B, and where are these numbers from? They're from here. Okay, and C is the same thing. C here and C right there. Okay, it's just a different representation. And if you take a look at the way the numbers are written out, the further to the left of the line, the earlier it occurred. So these numbers that were bracketed out, these are the numbers that appeared in the last draw. So these are the near numbers or more recent numbers. So the further to the left of the lines, you have numbers that are these are the numbers that appeared more recently, and then the further to the right, you have the older numbers. Okay, so that's the way to read it. Now over here I have the different profiles for hot, warm, cool, cold, and icy. And from this category, you got the information. I got the information from here. Okay, these two places, the frequency and size. And this is translated to this sheet right here. Okay, and once I get them translated, I fill out these boxes right here. So there are 9 hots. So if you count them, there's 9 H's. And there are 4 warms. So there will be 4 W's. There's 5 cools. So it should be 5 K's. And 2 ices. So 2 ice right here. Okay. Anyway, so that's the way the numbers are profiled, just on the frequency and size. Okay, well, the frequency and then the size is down here. Okay, and remember the segments that I was talking to you about, looking for returning numbers and which categories of numbers to look at. This is what this means right here. Okay, so after I get all of the profiles up, I begin working this. And for example, I'm looking for let's take a look at this example right here. The first number that I'm looking for is a tiny number, and hopefully I want to locate it somewhere in the A. Okay, and so if I take a look at the A and I'm looking for a green number, okay, the first number to jump out is number 7. Number 7 is a good pick because it occurred 4 times in the last 20 draws. So it's repeating. It's a good number to choose. So that's why I chose 7 right here. Okay? And 7 was one of the numbers that hit. Okay? And that crosses out that. Okay? Then the next number I was looking for was small, and a small number is between 15 and 28. Okay, and so I chose 24, and 24 was B, and it's a number that hit right there, 24. So 24 was chosen. Next thing I was looking for was a medium number, and medium number is between 29 and 42, and 36 came up. Okay, and 36 was a hot number. Actually, I made it a hot number. Okay, and I chose 36, and 36, I believe, was a, where's 36? Ah, that's one of my repeating numbers. Not repeating, returning numbers. Okay, so 36 was the returning numbers. Anyway, so that's what I do. Okay, and you notice I'm not using any math formula or whatever. Okay, there's no math to this. It's basically feel and positioning and more logic to it. I'm just trying to match up the profiles and try and match up the number profiles with the numbers that are out there. Anyway, on this segment, going through this, okay, and using this, I was able to hit. Um, if you count them, I got one, two, three, four, five numbers that were hit uh, using this method. Okay, it's pretty good. So this is the method that I use, and this is the work that goes through. Uh, if you want to add anything and stuff or subtract things, move things around, that's fine. This last number set that I did right here was to help me with consolidating some of the numbers that I created, not only through the grid, but also using my pictures. Okay, and this is where the pictures come in, because a lot of times the pictures will show a link, or it will hit numbers that I don't know that I missed. Okay, and in this one, I managed to hit and place three numbers on the same line. Just the pictures themselves, I was able to hit the number 8, which was the bonus ball. Okay, so that was pretty good. Okay, 8 and 7. I flipped it. Okay, so 8 was one of the numbers up here, and 7 should have been down here. Okay, so I just flipped the numbers. But in this particular case, I was able to hit all 6 numbers using the pictures um, and the number grids. Okay, and finally, here's a copy of my winning ticket, and the winning ticket is E right here. This is where I placed 3 of the winning numbers, 24, 53, and 68 on the same number, on the same number line, and this was good for $10. Anyway, so as you can see, this is not a simple thing, a simple process. It's very tedious, and setting this thing up can be very nerve-wracking and time-consuming. So, for those of you asking me to do lottery, please understand when I say no. Okay. Anyway, hopefully this tip will show you the different things or one way of going after the lottery. And if you want to try it on your own, that's fine. Okay. Anyway, this is Dave Wallace saying mahalo nui loa and catch you folks next time. Aloha.